Can I show you a clip that I don't intend on doing, but I just like the picture? Can I just, because CSL, I love you, brother. Hold on. Maybe I'll scroll it up and I'm just going to see if I can show you okay. This is the title of this one. Biden crime family exposed in 2023 with Breanna Morello, Alison Steinberg, OAN. In focus. That's the title is. Fabulous. I'm interested. To get, oh God. It looks like somebody hit Sarah Jessica Parker in the face with a shovel. What? Why would this is the thumbnail? I don't know which one she is. I don't watch this shit. So Breanna Morello or Alison Steinberg, I don't know which one she is. But what I do know is whoever works at OAN fucking hates her. Why would you? You get to choose the. Oh, it's Breanna. See, I can see it in the background. A little detective work. Ha 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 ha. This is Breanna Morello, live from an Airbnb. That all I need is to make sure it has a desk and a computer already there, because then I can bring up my logo and I'm fine to do a show. Now I think she's just. Here's the thing: we all have, like mid-frame, God knows the faces I make on this fucking show. Oh, like everybody will catch me, will freeze frame me right as I'm turning to look into something, like, and that's the picture that it's just, whatever. Which, yeah, I'm aware of. I don't care, because I like being a silly rubber-faced git. But who does this to somebody? I don't think she's inebriated. And the title, Shockingly Unshocking Stories from 2023. You know why? Because the world is against us. I don't know what this is. I have no idea what's going on in this video. I need to know. Let's listen to a little bit of it, just for the fuck of it.
Breanna Morello joins me now with her thoughts.
I feel like we're looking at a nose before and after thing.
On this, she's a former producer for Fox Business,
Really? Why was she fired?
Newsmax, and the MLB. But now she's an independent journalist and
can't keep a job anywhere. Okay.
Host of the Breanna Morello Show. She joins me now. Thank you so much for being with us, Breanna. It's great to see you.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Also, a little severe. I'm just saying. The look, the amount of makeup, the contouring, little severe. Yes, it does look like Munster's makeup. It does. That much contouring. It's too much. It looks like they just everywhere there's an angle, she's just getting them to hit it with some, some shadowing. Can I get some shadowing through here? And then all along here. And then I want this dark and fade back to here. And then can you make my eyes look genuinely evil?
Alison, thank you for having me.
Oh. Thank you for having me. I can't imagine why she was fired. Hold on. It's just quiet.
Of course. So I want to know, what was one of the most shockingly unshocking political stories from 2023 in your opinion?
I think that you and I are almost wearing the same outfit, except I'm wearing the Ivana Trump version and you're wearing the Nellie Olson from Little House version. But basically with the same color scheme. You clearly got the memo. Shazam.
Gosh, there was so much to unpack this year. If I had to pick, I'd have to be the indictments against President Donald Trump.
Yeah, shockingly unshocking. I mean, because he's such a criminal prick.
Although it's expected that the left will target him, I was completely shocked at how well
that it actually happened,
orchestrated it was. Ultimately, we saw multiple counties, multiple cities go after the president this year.
Well, I mean, in their defense, he did commit state and local crimes in a vast number of places. So they could just slather one big federal charge and be done with it. The states have rights, I think, is something that Republicans will say. I don't know.
And although it looks like some of them may not stick, thanks to our Supreme Court, it's still discouraging as an American who loves this country to see these folks targeting him and going after him with such focus and gosh,
determination.
So much hate. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's treason, obviously.
Obviously, it's treason. So all those local people, they should be killed. Is that what you're saying? I mean, it's treason. What's the answer for treason, right? somebody, hold on. I think someone else is following your line of thinking. Yeah, I mean, these areas. I love this, by the way. The authorities said they did not believe the shooting was related to previous threats against the justices who barred Donald J. Trump from the state's primary. Yeah, it happens all the time. People break into the Colorado Supreme Court building and open fire at night all the time. Just because it can't, I mean, the timing, it's just a coincidence. You mean he's not admitting to doing it for that reason? Right. Man who opened fire involved in a nearby car crash had reportedly pointed a handgun at the other driver. Brandon Olson. Oh my God, he's related to Nelly. It was not planned. This was not. I did not. I don't know how this happens, but it's all part of a. Clearly, we live in. It's the Mandela effect, I think, isn't it? Yeah. The fucking Olsons, man. Yeah. Then shot out the window of the Judicial Center, entered the building, held one of the security guards at gunpoint, demanding his keys. The guard was not armed, which is weird. The suspect then went to the 7th floor and fired additional shots inside the building, and at some point started a fire in the stairwell. He's being held for investigation of robbery, burglary, and arson. Not reckless driving. Can we have that in there? Reckless driving. Last week, he was the victim of a swatting call to her home just one day after she borrowed him from the. Yeah, okay, blah, blah, blah. They know this, whatever. Anyway, so, anyway, you were saying something about just, hateful people on our side of the aisle.
But it's also frustrating because these are the people we share a country with, and they are just so focused on hating this man.
Well, honestly, it doesn't require, I gotta be honest, it does not require a lot of focus. It's pretty fucking easy, actually. I would argue it takes a lot of focus to not hate him. I mean, that's where the real, I got to give you credit. That's a fucking job sometimes. Well, I'll give you an example. And you can, I can just do it right here. I don't even have to look it up. I can, let's see, well, right here, for example. This guy right here. And you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take a lot of work to fucking hate that dude. It's not, I mean, it's pretty, right? It's easy, I mean, it does not feel like a job. Like hating him would, and I gotta be honest, I don't even bother with hating him. He disgusts me or whatever, but I don't grind on it. I got shit to do. You know what I mean? I don't know. Anyways, you were saying something about him being a wonderful person and how could these people dislike him in any way, and he's wonderful and a wonderful man and he's good to people and
going after him. And at the same time, like you just discussed, they had no problem, the corporate media, covering for Joe Biden and his family's corruption.
By the way, I tried to find a picture of Epstein and Joe Biden. Joe Biden's been in office as a Democrat, Senate and House, and then as the vice president for like 50 years. And nothing. I mean, this fucker got around, but I just could not. I mean, hopefully, in the age of AI, I'm sure it's possible, but so far, nobody's even come up close to having a picture of Epstein and Biden. But fuck, these dudes hung out a lot, didn't they?
I mean, there was numerous stories that were buried by the left.
Yeah? Were they, I'm sorry, is it because these stories were they just taking up too much? I don't know. Was there other stuff that seemed more newsworthy? Like, I don't know, like this guy dying while this guy was president in jail. And then this guy wishing this guy's girlfriend well from the Oval Office, from the White House. Weirder than that? I mean, I gotta be honest, that's weirder than fucking COVID.
And you could just start off with before even he was elected president, and
back when he was just a New York gadfly and a shit heel.
some might say unrightfully, but
Sorry. Sorry, I'm gonna move him out of the way. So I'll move. You know what? Fuck you. You can have him over by you.
it was with the Hunter Biden laptop story, the Intel
Oh, notice how she says it too. The Hunter Biden laptop story, not the actual one.
community focused on helping getting him elected, and here we are today. So it's no surprise in 2023 that they really didn't let up on that.
Yeah, not surprising at all. And it
No, it's not. It's not. Especially the amount of evidence that continues to come out. I mean, imagine this. Imagine being lucky like me and all of my viewers on the regular. We're like, yeah, people. Him trying to manipulate the president of Ukraine and all this shit. And and man, we're all wound up about that story. But we're like, yeah. I mean, it would be much better if he just committed some heinous crime against the country, like stealing classified documents and hiding them in the toilet at his rental property that he lives in, like Howard Hughes, right? And we're like, yeah, but that never happened. Oh, but I hate him so much. I wish he just would. You know how we really hated Alex Jones, and then he was stupid / nice enough to be a complete pig and mock the Sandy Hook parents and children. And we're like, oh wow, we want to get him, but he won't cross that line. And then he just fucking crossed it, man. It's the same thing with Trump. We're all waiting, and lucky us, he leaves office and keeps criming. You'd think he'd lay low, but guess not.
really has been, as you said, just incredible to see this all unfold, completely unprecedented.
Yeah, but that's because that's him. We've never had a shithead like that in office before. Jesus Christ. I almost feel like we owe George W. Bush an apology by comparison. We don't. But you know what I mean.
It'll certainly be interesting to see what happens in the new year. But with that being said, Breanna, the good news is the more ridiculous these stories get, the more potential they have to really wake up our normie brothers and sisters, as I like to call them, which is
Is that what you call them?
positive. So I think
You mean the rhinos that you guys shit on nonstop?
I would call that a win. But Breanna, are you hopeful that people are still waking up here, or have we sort of reached critical mass?
Critical mass of what? Of sleeping? Gibberish. I don't know.
Yeah, I think a lot of Americans are waking up. I think the pandemic, unfortunately, woke up a lot
It was like a nap.
of Americans because they don't trust the media anymore.
Why? Because they reported what Trump said about what he was doing, and it turned out to be bullshit?
Ultimately, we saw HHS, which is obviously under the Biden regime,
To what?
pay media outlets, corporate media outlets like Fox and other ABC, all these other networks were paid a lot of money to promote the jabs. And ultimately, Americans realized that, wait a minute, we didn't hear the actual negative side effects to these drugs.
Oh, you mean because of Operation Fart Steed? Captain's log. That started under Trump? What?
And it was quite concerning. And so I think
What the fuck are you talking about?
a lot of Americans are looking at this and saying, we can't trust the corporate media. And we're seeing it in just the ratings alone, right? We see that CNN just keeps hitting these all-time lows. MSNBC follows right behind them as well.
No. MSNBC over the last couple of years has beat Fox multiple times.
Well, most Americans are ditching cable news and they're
I got news for you, asshole. All cable news viewership is down because nobody has to white knuckle the fucking government. And the only people that are like grinding it every day are people like me who do it for have to digest it for a fucking job. The rest of the country should be able to not watch the fucking news. One of the reasons why CNN and MSNBC, why their viewership is down, is because we don't have to worry about it. Our president actually passed a fucking infrastructure bill.
turning to digital platforms, which ultimately, have platforms like OAN and independent platforms as well. And those
Wait a minute, OAN isn't independent? That's news.
independent platforms are completely thriving. I mean, on Rumble alone, if you look at the numbers on Rumble, it's really impressive to see how many Americans are tuning in every day to independent journalists. And like I say all the time,
All right. First of all, most of the big names on Rumble aren't independent. Rumble contracts with these people as a corporation to have regular talent on there. The only difference between that and a cable news network is is where it's located.
Independent journalism will save the country. And I say that because I come from a corporate
Yes, and
media
you're absolutely
world.
right. The Chiron on this is perfect for her. The irony is palpable.
And I understand how things work. When I worked in local news, for an example, you would get the reports from places like the Associated Press, CBS, and you would just kind of, as a producer, they'd assume that you would just copy and paste the scripts that were given into the prompter, and then the on-air anchor would just read it. And ultimately, there was really no thought process involved. But now we're
Really? You're telling me there's no thought process involved in like Good Morning Pacoima?
seeing people turning away from that type of news, and they're turning to independent journalists to
Where? Right. So they turn to independent journalists who tell them that the weather's going to be fine when there's a tornado outside, and then they go out and get killed by a fucking tornado because they can't trust the local news, which has the tornado warning on it.
tell the truth. And that's what we truly need to save our country, unfortunately.
I totally
Unfortunately, it's so true. That is so true, guys. So seriously true.
agree, Breanna. It's been really wonderful to see it, honestly. I think many people are waking up to this. We've seen independent.
Yeah, I think we're all waking up. What's another phrase for that? Woke? Is this part of the woke shit I hear about all the time? I hear a lot about woke, and I hear it's very, very bad. So I don't know, if maybe they're for it. I don't know. Maybe it's good.
Journalism, as you said, just explode in recent years, especially since Elon also took over X. And Breanna, I think you're a shining
I didn't know you guys were on a first name basis.
example of this, having left Fox to pursue your own successful independent media career.
Yes, first at Newsmax, where you were also fired, and then some other place where you weren't doing well, and then you went and formed, what's it called, a podcast? Because that's the top, really. Nobody has one of those. It's very exclusive club, and you do it from your office, do you? Well, one day, man, if I work really hard, I could probably do a show from my house, if I'm lucky.
So I do hope this trend continues into the new year, but I have to ask, are you concerned that with the crackdown on censorship, with the ongoing efforts to
There's a crackdown on censorship? That means there's not going to be any censorship anymore? Sweet.
silence and suppress conservative voices, we can continue to still have successful careers in alternative media? I mean,
Well, you have to have one first, and then I get where you're going.
I just reported yesterday that beginning January 1st, T-Mobile is going to begin censoring text messages that contain potentially harmful or hateful content.
For all our viewers.
You mean like child porn? How dare they attack our freedoms that way? And that's more than likely what that's about.